Good evening. We are here with our Facebook Live for our 10 essential oils to have in your home. We are going to jump right into what oils are, why doTERRA, how you use oils, and what the oils do. What would you use these 10 oils for in your house or with your kids or in your lifestyle? So the first thing we'll talk about is what oils are. Oils are aromatic compounds, and they come from the plant, they come from the seeds, the bark, the flowers, the stems, and they collect the crop, and then they distill it, and from there they take the oil and they bottle the oil, and then that's what they have in the bottle and send to us. So that's what oils are. If you did get a chance to get the sheet online, it looks like this. If not, no worries. You can always go after. It's just kind of a little follow along. If not, you can just take some notes. We are going to start with our first oil, peppermint, and the reason we start with peppermint is because peppermint is so potent, and we're going to talk about potency. So if you had a stomach ache and you were going to drink some peppermint tea, say, because peppermint is really good for an upset stomach, you would need 28 cups of peppermint tea to equal 1 drop of peppermint. So it's very, very powerful and potent, 50 to 70 times stronger than herbs. So another reason why oils are so great, you don't need a lot of them. This bottle is about 250 servings, so it's going to last you a long time. Peppermint is also great for cooling the body temperature. So if you have a child that has a fever or you yourself have a fever, you could use peppermint to put on the bottoms of their feet, and it naturally brings the body temperature down. I'll talk about application in just a little bit. I just wanted to get through these first main points first on the potency and the complexity of the oils. A couple other things you could use peppermint for is if you had a headache, you could take peppermint and apply it to your temples, along your hairline, so it helps with head tension. Also, if you have nausea or stomach ache, like I said, you would drink peppermint tea. You also could take the oil and just apply it right to your belly, and it helps and it absorbs right into your skin and into your bloodstream that way. So very potent. So that's the first thing about the oils. Second is they're very complex. So we'll talk about lavender for a minute. The oils are very complex. There's lots of compounds in them, carbon and oxygen, just like our bodies are made up. And you can't grow resistant to them. So it's not like an antibiotic where your body is going to grow resistant and you're going to need a different type, or you start with 1 drop and then you'll need 5 drops and then 10 drops. 1 drop is a serving and your body assimilates it. It metabolizes it, and then you'll need more in the future. But it's not like a medication you take for 24 hours and it stays in your system. Your body metabolizes it, and then when you need it again is when you would use it again. So lavender, really good for sleep. It's really good for calming your emotions, and it's amazing healing for the skin. An example of when we've used lavender is my husband is bald, and he got too much sun and had a sunburn, and in the past his head would just peel and it would just be kind of icky and it would hurt and all that kind of stuff. And we put lavender on his head and it soothed it. It didn't peel, and within a day or two it was completely gone and he felt really good. So lavender also I put on the bottoms of my kids' feet to help calm them down and get them to sleep, kind of a nice little nightly routine. I'm going to talk real quick before I jump into any more oils why I choose doTERRA. I've used oils for about 12 years, and I've used lots and lots of brands. I bought a ton online when I first started. I've used other companies, bought kits, and then came upon doTERRA, and a few reasons. One is I love how they source to get their products. So they go directly to where the plant is indigenously grown. So for their lavender, they previously went to Bulgaria, and now they've been going to France, and that is where the lavender is most naturally grown. They test 3 times. They test at the site to make sure the plant is 100% pure. If it's not, they won't use that, and they can sell it off to another oil company that will. They test at the distillery when they go ahead and distill the oil from the plant. And they also test third-party testing once it's back in the U.S., and it's just nice how transparent they are. So with their testing, they have on the bottom of every bottle a number, and you can go to source2u.com, so it's a good website to have. Source2u.com, it talks about all of doTERRA sourcing, and you can type that number in and it will show you the lab results from when it was tested by that third party. So transparency-wise, they're unbelievable. They're telling you exactly what you're getting, and you know that it is 100% pure. The FDA does not really regulate oils, vitamins, supplements. So as long as you have your name and your company address, a way to contact you, that's all that really is required. You can put pretty much anything on the bottle you want. For example, you can put 100% pure on a bottle, but only maybe 10% of it is pure. So the other 90%, they're putting in carrier oil, synthetic fragrances, contaminants, and other fillers. So when you go to buy something off of a shelf, or even Amazon, because people can adulter them and then refill them with oil that's not 100% pure and sell it as doTERRA, because some people do that. You know that you want to get 100% pure, and not a lot of companies out there tell what's on there. And if they do, they could be not telling the truth, because there is really no regulation. doTERRA, in essence, created their own regulation or their own kind of standard by using the Source to You website and giving you the number and having a third party get involved. So I just feel like the oil is so pure, it's going to be really beneficial to your family, because you know you're getting exactly what you're buying. And so that's just kind of a good feeling. The other thing is, when they go into those regions, they're usually impoverished nations, and so they send in their Healing Hands Foundation, and they build wells, and they build schools, and help with medical centers. And so I feel like they're not only giving us the best product, they're also helping the world out too, which is a great thing. All right, so back to the oils. I'm going to explain how to use oils first. There's 3 separate ways. The first way is going to be aromatically. So I have my diffuser going, and you just put your water and your drops in there. That would be one way to do it. Another way is, I'm going to use peppermint, since we've already talked about peppermint. Peppermint is very energizing. It's good for, again, head tension, nausea, headache, and cooling the body off. Say it's 3 o'clock and you want a cup of coffee and you're exhausted. 1 drop in your hand, a nice big inhale. It literally feels like it went right up to your brain. It's so powerful and strong. I love that invigorating feeling. That is a way of diffusing. I've just diffused in my own hands. Another way is, again, the diffuser, or you can take a cotton ball and put peppermint on a cotton ball and stick it in your vents. Why would you want to do that? Right now it's spring. Lots of bugs are coming out. Peppermint is really good for bugs. They hate peppermint. So we have these little ants we've been finding, and I have been taking my peppermint, putting it on the cotton ball, putting it in the vent. You also can just put it in a little spray bottle with water and just squirt like you would an insect repellent, but just along your floorboards, and it helps to really keep the bugs at bay. So that's kind of nice. The second way of using oils is topical. So if I had a burn on my hand, or one of the kids had a cut, I would take lavender, which is very soothing, like I explained earlier, and I would mix it with some carrier oil. And what is carrier oil? Carrier oil, I'm using fractionated coconut oil. Very lightweight. It does not smell like anything. It's really nice. It's the coconut oil, they've just taken the solid fat lipids out. And I just squirt a little bit in there with that, rub it together, and then I would rub it on the kid's arms, my husband's head when he had a sunburn, wherever you wanted. It's very soothing, and the coconut oil helps so the oil doesn't evaporate very quickly. You put this 1 drop in here, and you don't want it to evaporate. The other thing is, you want to cover a large surface area, say. Well, that 1 drop is going to be really hard to cover maybe a whole back or bottoms of both feet. So if you add the coconut oil, you can carry that oil further. So it helps it from evaporating, it helps it to cover more surface area. And the third thing it does is it helps the oil get into the skin and stay in the skin longer, so you can get more of the benefits from it. So I tend to dilute most of my oils. One, because the kids don't like some of the oil sensitive wise. They don't like anything with menthol or peppermint. They think it's hot. So I dilute for that reason, but then also to get have my oils go a longer distance. Moving on to lemon. Lemon is a really fun one. It's very cleansing. It is super refreshing. I love the smell of lemon. Great to diffuse this time of year because it's cleaning the air. I also put a drop or 2 in my water every day, and that's internally cleansing my body. So that's a good thing too, even going throughout the day. I'm doing kind of a little mini detox. I use it also to clean my counters and my windows. I put some in a water bottle with vinegar and water and clean that way, and that's a really nice disinfectant. They also use lemon sometimes if you have a sore throat. So if my kids have a sore throat, I'll put the lemon right on their throat. And if I have a sore throat, I'll put some lemon in a glass and I'll gargle with it. And then you can actually swallow the oil because there's some that you can internally take. So we're going to talk about that. So how do you know if you can take an oil internally? First, I would never take an oil internally unless it was doTERRA, because I don't know what's in that other oil. doTERRA, I know what it is. So they have on their bottles that you can take internally supplement facts. So with supplement facts, you know that you can take internally. It tells you exactly what's in it. And then ones that don't, I'll show you an example of one that is not internal. It just has the ingredients on there. So a quick guide, I remember when I first started using it, I was like, how do I know which ones I can take internally again? And you just look at the bottle. It's very, very nice little reminder they put on there for you. So a couple ways that I take them internally. One is, like I said, I put the lemon in my water, so I take that internally. The second way is I put them in veggie caps. So they actually have veggie caps you can fill up with oil. So they're just little veggie caps. You put the oil in there. Or they have some pre-made veggie caps. So this is the one I'm going to show you next because it involves the 3 oils we just talked about. And they pre-make them, and then you don't have to make them yourselves, and you're ready to go. The last way I use them, I'll get back to those veggie caps in a second, is I put them under my tongue. I use frankincense under my tongue. I'll explain why when we get to frankincense. So recap, aromatic, so out in the air, your diffuser, or in your palms. Topically, using it, if it's a stomach issue, I'll put it right on my belly. If it's my knee, I'll put it right on my knee. So topically, and then internally. So back to lemon real quick. Lemon, lavender, and peppermint together is an amazing antihistamine. So I used to take Zyrtec every day. Awful allergies, couldn't go without it. Then I learned about this combo. So these 3 together, like I said, act like a natural antihistamine. You can take it 2 separate ways. You can take 2 drops of each in a little glass of water, maybe 2 ounces of water. Take it in your mouth, swish it around. You have lots of mucous membranes in your mouth, and the oil can get absorbed in through your bloodstream very quickly that way. And then you would just swallow. And that almost immediately will help with the stuffy nose, the watery eyes, the itching, the discomfort from allergies. Tri-Ease is their gel cap that's pre-made, and it has those 3 oils in it. So I tend to bring this in my purse. I leave it on the counter, and I use this in place of my Zyrtec now. So one thing to say about that, like I said, it's natural, so your body metabolizes it. A Zyrtec I would take for 24 hours. This, I take it, and maybe 3 hours later, my symptoms start coming back. I just take another one, go about my day. Maybe I need another one, maybe I don't. So you kind of use it as you need it, and you know that there's no toxic load on your body, so that's a really good feeling. So we've covered lemon, lavender, and peppermint, and we are going to move on to frankincense. Frankincense is one of my favorites because it is used for inflammation, it's used for immunity, and it's also used for anxiety and stress. So I put this under my tongue twice a day. 2 drops in the morning, 2 drops at night. Literally just open it up, drop it under my tongue, let it sit there for about 30 seconds, and then take a drink of whatever I have to drink that moment. It is really good for inflammation. So if there's any inflammation in my body, it's going to help with that. If I take it internally, it's also going to help with any stress or anxiety. Morning time is kind of chaotic in our house with our children, and just the beginning of the day. So it just kind of adds like a nice little calmness to the morning. Also, say I have neck or shoulder pain, you can literally just apply it topically right on that inflammation, and it will help decrease the inflammation that way also. I had foot surgery in January, and I put frankincense on my foot 2 to 3 times a day for 6 to 8 weeks. My foot has healed amazingly. Yes, I took care of it, and I did everything the doctor told me, but I just feel like the oils just help to assist your body and bringing it back to balance and healing it. So the other way, it's also anti-aging. So some women take a drop and put it in their face cream and then put it on their face. And it's supposed to really help with nourishing the skin at a cellular level, which is kind of nice as we are getting a little bit older. Moving on to our powerhouse. So oregano, I do not use a lot, but when I use it, it does its job. So I use oregano if my kids are starting to come down with something. They get off the bus, I don't feel good, my throat hurts, my stomach hurts, all that kind of stuff. I start right with oregano. Oregano is the hottest oil, so you are going to want to dilute it every time you use it. And I would just take oregano, drop, coconut oil, rub it together, put it on the bottoms of their feet and along their spine. That's going to help boost their immunity. It's antiviral, antibacterial, amazing support to the body when you're feeling ill. This one, frankincense, also amazing when they're feeling sick. I'm going to tie 4 of these oils together after I talk about them to show you the 4 I use when they are feeling sick and they come home and they're like, Mom, help me, I don't feel good. And they kind of know, they're like, give me my oils. So oregano. So basically I use it only when they're sick. It's really good for candida, viral and bacterial issues that are going on. It also is one you can take internally, so you could cook with it. So I have added this to sauce before. Like if I'm making pizza, I'll put a drop or 2. Let's see, yeah, you can see it on there. It's really tiny in our sauce. So sorry, I gotta turn off my little notifications here. I forgot about that. Okay, there we go. So that's what we can do with oregano. Remember, always dilute very hot oil. The next one we're moving on to is Melaleuca. Melaleuca, also known as tea tree. A lot of you probably know of it as tea tree. This one, I just remember using this as a kid, and the smell kind of takes me back there. It's a disinfectant, so it's really good if your kids fall and get a scrape. I tend to take some Melaleuca, a drop, a little bit of coconut oil, and I put it on their knee or their elbow or whatever they scraped. I then follow that up with the lavender, which is very calming to the skin. So those 2 together help the cut or whatever heal very quickly. I also use tea tree oil for the girls at school because of lice. When we get the lice letter home, I take it, I rub it along their hairline, along the back here, just because it helps to repel lice and other bugs. People use it in their shampoo to boost their scalp, or give themselves a scalp treatment, which is kind of nice. So you just put it in your shampoo, scrub it into your hair. Last one, blemish. If you have a blemish, you literally can take the Melaleuca, a drop on your finger, put it on your blemish. I do it at night. It helps to draw out the impurities, and it helps to dry up, what's going on. So that one's really good for that. And the next one, On Guard. We've been using this all season, and we have not, knock on wood, been to the doctor yet. So I love that feeling. Cinnamon, clove, what else is in here? Rosemary, eucalyptus, and orange peel. Lovely scent. I put this in my diffuser fall, winter, spring, and it's very, very helpful. I use it on the bottoms of the kids' feet. I use it along their spine. I have the kids put it on the back of their neck on the way to school. I just hand them the roller bottle I have. Put this on the back of your neck. I use it when I'm traveling. If I'm going to be getting on a plane, I put it right on the tip of my nose. So anything that I'm breathing isn't going to really hold up. And it's kind of just extra immunity boost. What else? Cleaner. I use it to clean counters, just water, vinegar, or just water and the oil. Spray my counters, doorknobs, any cleaning around the house to prevent germs. And then I've also actually used it when I had a UTI, when I thought I was getting one. And I actually didn't have to go to the doctor for it. So that was really powerful. And I was like, I'm going to test this out. I'm going to give myself a day and see what it does. If it works, awesome. I'll have a great testimony. And if not, I'll go to the doctor. And it ended up working. So there's usually a lot of protocols. So I'm kind of your resource. If you have questions, I, whip out my oil book and check what would be recommended if I don't know it off the top of my head. But if you do have concerns like that and you're like, I wonder if I could use an oil for this, ask me. I'd love to help people figure that out. Let's see what else. So that one's immunity. Okay, so back to these 4 now, since we've covered these 4. Melaleuca, oregano, frankincense, and On Guard mixed together are unbelievable for immunity. So if your kids are sick or you're sick and you don't want to be, add a drop or 2 of each of these in your hand, take some of your coconut oil, rub it together, bottoms of your feet, spine, maybe 2 to 4 times that day. And it's going to really help knock that out before it can get worse. My kids have gotten little colds, but they're not that 5 to 7 day cold anymore. It's like a 2 to 3 day, and then they kick it. So these really help with that. All right, moving on. My favorite oil, it's not my favorite scent. It's my favorite oil because it does such an amazing job. It's such a solution for digestive issues, which I've dealt with since I was a kid. So Digestion, I love to read what's in it because I think there's really cool oils in here. Anise, peppermint, ginger, caraway, coriander, tarragon, and fennel. So if I'm having a stomach ache, I will take this with some coconut oil, rub it together, and put it right on my belly. It totally helps within 5 to 10 minutes, eases the discomfort. If someone has a digestive system that is working too quickly or that is too slow, it's going to help. It brings balance to your digestive system. So I've used it on the kids if they're feeling nauseous, if they just, you know, part of the drainage, if they're sick, they don't feel good. I use it on myself for any type of stomach pains that I have from foods that didn't agree with me. It's good for gas. It's good for bloating. If you notice when you eat, you get an upset stomach, because sometimes that happens to me, I actually just take a gel cap before I eat. So they make it in one of the pre-made gel caps, like we just talked about. The Tri-Ease is the allergy one. And just take one of these before you eat, and it kind of is a nice, nice little stomach boost, and helps with you digesting food, and so you won't get a stomach ache. It'll help ease your stomach, kind of, they call it like a tummy tamer. So that's what I use DigestZen for. It's very supportive for your stomach. It's very settling, and anything digestive I would use DigestZen for. It has almost like a black licorice kind of smell to it, so if you like black licorice, you're going to really like it. The next one is Deep Blue. This one is close to my heart too, because some older clients, like yoga clients, and people that I've worked with, love this, and it has given them so much relief. So I feel like I have a, you know, a really tender spot for this oil. People with arthritis or inflammation of their joints, this has helped tremendously for them. So you just take this again with the carrier oil, rub it on whatever's hurting, knees, knuckles, you know, feet, ankles, and it really helps with inflammation and that pain and discomfort in your tissues, your joints, your ligaments, your tendons. It's also really good to use after a workout. So if you worked out, you can take some and rub it on different parts of your body that are hurting, whether your hamstrings, your arms. The other thing is they make it in a lotion, which is really cool. Very easy application. There's a full bottle of oil in the lotion. So that's another really great way to apply it. I'm throwing stuff around here. So let's see, Deep Blue helps with discomfort, joint inflammation, and again, arthritis. I actually used it after surgery, so it really helped with some of the inflammation after I had surgery too. So I kind of had a little concoction of oils that I was using. Our last one is Breathe. This one is a wonderful oil to open up airways if you're feeling stuffy, congested. I have tended to use this. I get kind of the stuffiness from allergies, but also as the kids have kind of got a little colds at school and stuff, it just really helps to open up your airways. This has some peppermint in it, like the peppermint at the beginning that helps with headaches and sinus issues, so Breathe also helps with that. Breathe is a great one to diffuse at night. So if you are breathing well, you're going to be sleeping well. And so I tend to diffuse Breathe at night in our diffuser by our bed, just 2 or 3 drops, and then you just fill some water in it, turn it on, and you're good to go. Very easy to use. I apply Breathe to the tip of my nose when I'm congested. I can apply it here and here if I have lots of sinus pressure. And it has been known to be used for snoring on your big toe. That's your acupressure point for like your esophagus and your throat area. And some women have had really good results with their spouses. So I always like to share that one. Let's see, what else was I just going to say? Something popped into my head. I can't remember. I'll remember in a second. So yeah, Breathe I use for that. And I don't remember what I was going to say. It slipped my mind. That's okay. We'll keep going on. So I shared the 10 oils. I shared what they do. I shared how to use them. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is how you would get oils if you want to get oils into your home. So there's several ways you could do that. The first way is you could just email me, message me, we'll set up a call, we'll talk on the phone. You tell me what your concerns are and I'll say, okay, I think this and this and this would be a great aspect for you. If you want to do it by yourself, you would just go to my website, www.doterra.com/Marisa Ramsire, and you would go in and shop, and then you have 2 options. One, say you wanted to buy just peppermint and DigestZen. They have retail pricing, which I would not recommend to anyone. The best way to do it would be wholesale. Wholesale, it's like Costco. So you can purchase these 2 oils at wholesale, and you purchase your wholesale membership, which is $35 for the year. The 10 oils I talked about tonight come also in a kit. They come in a kit with small bottles, and then they come in a kit with the bigger bottles. So let me show you the difference. This is a 5 milliliter. It has about 80 drops. This is a 15 milliliter. It has 3 times the size. So you're going to get about 250 drops in here. Same oil, same thing. It just, if you just aren't sure and you want to start small, or you want to jump right in. The one with the bigger ones does come with the diffuser. The ones with the smaller one does not come with a diffuser, but you can add one on. So if you are interested, let me know. Send me a message. I will help you, get all set up with that. And I'm going to check and see if there's any questions. I am not, so let me see here. Nope. Oh, I love seeing all of you on here. This is so great. So let me know if you have any questions, if you need any help. I would love to help you. I'm so glad you joined tonight. And I hope I answered your questions of where do oils come from, why I use doTERRA, what oils you need in your home, and how to use them. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll chat soon. Bye.